I've mentioned previously that with WoW stagnating before the next expansion, that I've started to venture out and play other games. Today I wanted to talk about one that I've been playing a lot lately, and give those of you who are unfamiliar with it the idea of what this game is all about. Path of Exile runs in the same vein as Diablo or Torchlight as an action RPG. However, it has some significant differences that in my mind put this game way ahead of the competition. So let's get into it. For starters, you will be able to pick one of 6 classes, and eventually be able to unlock a 7th. Regardless of what class you pick, your starting experience will be somewhat similar. As an exile, you will begin the game by washing ashore, and almost immediately you will be greeted by a zombie who disposes of the survivor next to you. Right away, that first zombie will drop a specific skill gem based on the class which you have chosen. This is where the first interesting mechanic comes in. See, these skill gems are colored, and they will socket into an item of the appropriate color. Once you have done this, the skill will then be available to you to use on your action bar, which you can adjust as you see fit. This opens up a world of possibilities, because you can essentially build your character however you see fit. For instance, if you wanted to take the Marauder class, which is a strength-based class, and have it cast a bunch of spells, you can do that. Another interesting thing about these skill gems is how they can be modified. Using another type of gem called a support gem, you can enhance an ability. Let's say you were using the skill Freezing Pulse, which fires out a wave of cold damage. You would then be able to add faster casting as a support gem to increase the speed at which you cast, as well as the distance at which the ice wave travels. You could then add multiple lesser projectiles, which would take that single ice wave and split it into 3, or potentially swap that out for faster projectiles support gem to get an even more range on your Freezing Pulse. You could even choose to convert some of that damage from cold into fire, turning your Freezing Pulse into some sort of hybrid of elemental awesomeness. Another awesome aspect of the game is that you can take a piece of gear and modify it. For instance, if you want a different color variation on the sockets of an item, you could re-roll it using a currency called a chromatic orb. You won't always get exactly what you want, which adds value to these currencies, because sometimes you will need to use a lot of them just to perfect your item. There is no gold in the game, so everything is done with a barter system, either with other players or NPCs, which gives a natural value to rarer currencies, which don't tend to flood the market because people will constantly use them to modify their gear, which reduces the inflation significantly. As you progress in the game, you will acquire more skills and supports to modify them, increasing the power and utility your character has. Progression of your character is not just down to skills and gear though. With each level, you will earn a point which you can spend on a massive interconnected passive skill tree, which will help you to really specialize your character and ultimately commit to a playstyle. Your class will determine the position at which you start on the passive tree, but you will have eventual access to anything on the tree. Path of Exile is designed by an independent group of developers in New Zealand, and is actually a free-to-play game, which would usually completely deter me from playing. But the developers have taken a hard stance against any form of pay-to-win. Instead, you will only find cosmetic effects, stash space, and extra character slots in their stores. But hell, they give you 24 character slots to begin with, so it's really not a problem. The game constantly gets updates and new leagues. Currently I'm playing in a 4-month league. There are 2 base leagues, Standard and Hardcore. Hardcore is almost what you would expect. However, if you die, your character isn't destroyed forever, instead it is moved down to the Standard League. In the 4-month leagues, new content and challenges are introduced into the game, adding variety along with constant updates. There's a softcore and hardcore variant of the 4-month leagues. Currently I'm playing in the Invasion League, which is the hardcore variant. And I must say, it's really thrilling to be on the edge of my seat all the time with the fear that I could die at any moment. With these leagues, they end when they end, they'll be transferred into their parent leagues. So softcore, the softcore 4-month league will go to softcore, and the hardcore will go to hardcore. I just wanted to share a bit about this game, and hopefully some of you out there will give it a try. I'm looking to cover it a bit more, especially with the long wait ahead before the new WoW expansion. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.